Right, let's get the stream up and running. Get ready to go. Get ready to go. Yeah, it seems like we are live-ish. You just try this and hopefully this gets a little better. How about this? That's probably fine. We'll give this a go. How is everyone doing today? Maybe one further down. And then this will give me a minute to see what's going on in the world before we get started. Has there been anything gaming-wise that I need to know about before we start? No, it looks like I'm on top of news. Right, let's have a look. Where were we going? We were trying to do these quests. One of them, I think, was a Cassandra, continuing the Cassandra quest. Or did we already beat them? Rifts in the Fens, Rifts in the Fens. Rifts on the battlefield, and there was stuff to go over there. Okay, I guess we found the thing that I needed to find here, which was, I think, one of Cassandra's targets, I think, was literally back here at this camp. Hey, Echo, how you doing today? Oh, I gotta get the chat, the other chat window onto the other screen. There we go. That's how it needs to be. Getting my one stream in for this week because I'm about to be traveling to Gamescom and I am not likely to be able to get any other streams in before the week is done. I don't know how long of a stream it's going to be today, by virtue of the fact I have a very early flight tomorrow, but I wanted to get at least some stream in. I've been getting back into Sea of Thieves again. The servers are way less populated now, so I managed to get mostly unhassled. Hurrah! I imagine the hassling of the servers came from the influx of new people when it came to PlayStation, I'm guessing? Fingers crossed it's settled down since then. Hey, Tara. Just wanted to start by saying poor Barbella having to think about hard choices. She just had to do hostage negotiation. She shouldn't have to do all that. She's just a soft little muscle girl who shouldn't have to make terrifying choices. People should be nice to her. How dare they ever make things difficult? How dare the DM make things difficult for Barbella? See if these came to PlayStation? Question mark? I don't know. I literally took a 2-ish-year break from it, so just think about how it was back then. Ah, that's fair. In your case, I guess it was like the game first happening levels of busy. Yeah, at some point earlier this year, like there was a whole thing where a batch of Xbox games came to PC, or came to PlayStation, and one of them was Sea of Thieves. And I know when that happened, I think it was like, I'm gonna say like 4 to 6 months ago. The Sea of Thieves people I know who were playing at the time were very frustrated with the influx of new people who were like not particularly meshed with like the community that was currently on PC and Xbox. But yes, in theory, part of me is like, maybe I stream tonight until... There is a Nintendo Direct tonight, kind of. It is about a Nintendo museum that's happening in Japan. There will be no game news and no Switch successor news. Part of me was like, maybe I stay up and like end this on a Nintendo Direct stream, but given the focus of it and the fact that I have to have left my house by 3:30 tomorrow morning to go catch a flight, I'm like, I'm gonna start the stream early and probably finish it a bit early, so that we at least get one stream this week. Hey, Artisan. I've literally just finished all of my packing for Gamescom. I have my suitcase next to me with my outfit for tomorrow picked out, ready to go travel the world. Oh, I have a film. I have a film I want to have complicated thoughts about on stream today. Spoiler-free complicated thoughts, but shortly I will be digging into Alien Romulus. I have thoughts on Alien Romulus. Hey AJ, how am I? I'm doing good. I'm tired. I'm mid Gamescom prep. All of my day today has been packing suitcases and last minute appointment booking, but I'm as ready as anyone about to spend a week busily writing stories from the show floor can be. I'm doing my best to be restful because in a couple of days I'm about to go appointment right about the game, another appointment right about another game. It's going to be a week of, I saw a game for the first time, now I have 40 minutes to write my opinions on it and get it emailed to an editor before I have to sprint to the next thing. Come on. Get closer. Okay. Okay, we can disrupt that rift. So this seems as good a chance as any to, let's pause and do Laura's Film Corner, because I have feelings about a film I saw this weekend. I went with my lovely wife Jane, and we went and saw Alien Romulus, which is a new Alien film. It's kind of a sequel to the first one. And I'm gonna start with the positives, because I want to get the positives out of the way. I think the film does have some positives. I think that it largely captures the aesthetic and pacing and, like, the visual aesthetic, the audio aesthetic, the pacing and the tone of the original Alien. I think it understands a lot about what made the original Alien work in terms of a single xenomorph should be scary by itself, of it should feel... an Alien film should not be afraid to sit in silence and tension, and it gets that. It understands what makes the practical set design of a ship in an Alien film good, in terms of, like, the kind of cluttered, kind of cramped, kind of lived-in, cobbled together grime of the average worker ship versus the sort of lab aesthetic of this was once white and pristine, but it's been let run down. Not a huge amount, but just so that, like, scuff marks and rust are just starting to encroach on it in a way that really emphasizes how abandoned its sterility is. There is a lot in that regard I like about Alien Romulus, and I will also say, in terms of spoiler light positives, I think that Alien Romulus, for all the places where it's pretty derivative of, like, the plot structure of the first Alien, I do think that they, like... That is largely to its benefit. I think that the film doesn't make the mistake that so many Alien sequels make of trying to up the scale of the threat, and goes, it's okay to just go back to, here is one enclosed location, and a single one of these is a problem, and even if you can kill one, killing one creates a whole bunch of other issues. That is scary. But I want to get talking about problems I have with this film, and I don't want to get too into depth in case people are planning to see it, but I want to...
I must admit, Cassandra,
Okay, I'm gonna pause to talk about this, so I don't talk over dialogue. My biggest problem is that this film has a real fucking problem with autistic person equals robot. Autistic behavior, it goes hand in hand with being an emotionless, uncaring robot, incapable of human empathy towards humanity, and that bigotry towards quote-unquote robots, which is a stand-in for autistic people, is acceptable because it is going to turn out they're just as unempathetic as you sort of fucking feared they would be. That's a whole, like, running problem this film has, is we're going to introduce a character who is implied to be developmentally disabled, specifically, like, is played like an autistic character, like an autistic person who needs a degree of support from a family member. Oh, they're just acting like that because they're a robot, innit? Let's do a bunch of anti-robot bigotry that really just fucking feels like anti-autism hatred. And then have this weird mixed message where all those weird fears you have of, like, the cold, emotionless evil that, like, an emotionless, calculated, emotionless robot might have, you know, and that's why, like, you know, we shouldn't trust him, is ultimately, like, kind of true. You're kind of right to be a bigot toward the autistic person, robot. It's weird. I couldn't get over it. There's more nuance and more complexity to it than that like I would get into if I was going into spoiler thoughts, because I don't want to like full on spoiler chat this film. And again, I think there's a lot of things this film gets right. There's a great the setup for how the problem is set loose, and like the justification for why these people are in the place where the problem happens and the moment where the problem starts to become a problem is very well thought through. I enjoy that. I enjoy a lot of the performances. I think a lot of the practical effects, specifically for the practical monster effects, are really, really good. But also there's some fundamental misunderstandings of the metaphors inherent in Alien and a whole bunch of stuff like that. I think it is a fascinating film, and I would love to get into, like, in-depth spoiler thoughts on it at some point, but, like, for everything that I think that Alien Romulus gets right, and all the reasons I look at it and go, I understand why people were giving this, like, really high review scores, as an autistic person, I just walked away with such weird feelings about it. Also, hey, Thimba.
I've heard of these seekers of truth.
Why would you? They do not exist in Tevinter.
But what are they? Some manner of super Templar? Is this one of those southern secrets like proper hygiene?
Once we worked from the shadows.
Sorry, can I stop and talk about our gay wizard friend just said, is that one of your southern secrets, like proper hygiene? Ooh, jab at the north, I guess?
Monitoring Templars and mages alike.
Ah, that clearly worked out well.
Your glibness does you no credit. The Mage Rebellion was beyond even our power to control.
Oh, I did see the Black Myth Wukong stuff, which has since been confirmed legitimate. For anyone who doesn't know, there was a Google Doc floating around over the weekend that seems to be a genuine document that happened. It, to be clear, was not sent to reviewers, it was sent to North American, like, Twitch streamers and influencers, like content creator types specifically. But it was a Black Myth Wukong, hey, do you want a code for the game? You got to agree to some stipulations, which include, and I quote, don't talk about COVID, don't talk about China's politics, and don't insert feminist propaganda into your content. Terror, I don't think it was a jab at those in the South. I think it was saying, is it a secret held by those in the South? Like, you know, he was asking, what is that? I, from the North, do not know what these Super Templars are. Are these Super Templars another Southern secret, like, good hygiene? That's how I understood that sentence. If he meant it to be a jab on the South, he phrased it poorly. But yes, it does seem like Black Myth Wukong influencer codes came with a don't mention China's politics or feminist propaganda requirement in to accept code, which doesn't surprise me, given that okay, we got a landmark over there. Actually, no, I'm not gonna worry about that for now. Can I make it to this? It doesn't surprise me, because this is, remember, the game that the CEO of the company that makes this game had that really sexist job hiring ad that was something to the effect of, hey, if you're a woman applying for this job, just know women gotta take their tops off and suck off the men on Wednesdays. Like, not exact wording, but it was something to that fucking effect. It was just some you gotta kiss your male co-workers as part of the job, yeah, kind of leery bullshit. I feel like I should find what the actual quote from the Black Myth Wukong CEO was now, because I'm like, I don't want to overly misquote it. As bad as it was. Almost had my whole party get stuck in a hole. Come on, party members, are you out the hole? Lovely. Yeah, let me find it. What was it that the guy said? Black Myth CEO. Controversy. I don't want, like, a big, lengthy, in-depth thing. I want... Okay, yeah. I just want the quotes. Here we go. Okay, so some recruitment ads from the company stated, don't screw your colleagues. The job advert implied that being friends with benefits was a perk at the office. Another job advert was allegedly fat-phobic. The CEO fired 11 female employees because he didn't want another feminist bitch at the studio. So yeah, not surprised to hear none of that feminism shit as a fucking requirement for getting a review code. Sorry, not review code, influencer code, or whatever. Okay, let's see if I can cross this river now that I built this thing. I genuinely do not remember what we are going to encounter across this bridge, but I'm pretty sure I got the repair on the bridge done. Oh, I found out some neat stuff today. I am travelling from one of the big London airports tomorrow, without mentioning which one. The airport I'm travelling from, turns out not only can you go up to the customer service desk there and get like a sunflower lanyard to convey invisible disability if you wish, and I'm like, that's cool, it's good that that's the thing they can give out. They also have little autism packs of stuff for if you're an autistic person going through the airport that might need some assistance, including, it's a keyring with, like, on it is, like, a couple of fidget items, a little pouch with some earplugs in, and a series of cards for communicating things you might be experiencing if you are struggling to verbalize your experience while in an overwhelming situation like an airport. And I was like, that's pretty fucking thoughtful. That is a neat accessibility accommodation that I don't think I've seen, like, a place like an airport that's like, autistic people are sometimes just gonna have to be here, offer, and that was kind of neat. AJ says, any particular games you're looking forward to seeing at Gamescom? The one I'm most excited for is Monster Hunter Wilds. I am excited to try Monster Hunter Wilds while knowing that it's going to feel like Monster Hunter, and it's probably going to feel good, and I'm probably not going to be surprised by it. Like, I wouldn't say it's the thing I'm most looking forward to seeing, in that I imagine it will fall within a bell curve of what I expect it to be, and it will be good, but I don't expect it to be like the hidden gem that I, like, come away from the show talking about. Jeff had to come out and say there's no Silk Song at Opening Night Live. I'm not surprised. Tara, that's not what someone about to reveal Silk Song would say. If Keeley had Silk Song for tomorrow, he would be hyping the fuck out of that to get people to watch Opening Night Live. He would be milking that for all it was fucking worth. NH London says, there are some details about Planet Coaster 2 I want to see if people learn about from the demo. NH London, I think I've said this. I am playing Planet Coaster 2 as part of a like a behind closed doors press preview behind closed doors. If there's anything specific you want to know, feel free to ask in this chat. I can't promise I will remember to check and find the answers for you, but also, as someone that's, like, not a huge the biggest Planet Coaster person in the world, but is doing freelance coverage, knowing things to look for that would be of interest to Planet Coaster, like, big Planet Coaster fans, would be super useful to me. It would give me a good idea of what to be looking out for. Oh, AJ, I know. I that's what I'm saying, is I recognize that it's going to be great for you, but that's just about what I'm looking forward to. Gamescom is the kind of show where it's like, the things that I will walk away from that show going, that was really cool, is the stuff that turns out to be little hidden gems. And I have a few things I'm hoping will be... Let me have a look. What am I currently booked in to see that I can tell you about? Because some of it's stuff I can't talk about, but some of it's stuff I can talk about. Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, there's the BioWave Proteus controller. I'm looking forward to checking that out. I think I can talk about this. Yeah, give me a second to find game that looks like it could be one of the hidden gems out of the show that I'm really looking forward to. Really, really cool art style to this one. Let me pop it in the little chat. This game called Immortal. Just aesthetically, it looks cool as fuck. Let me... Yeah, is this the one? I think this is the one. Yeah, it's got a real good sense of style to it that I am real intrigued by. Wondering if coasters will have switch tracks and multiple swing launches. Cool. I'm wondering if all the water slides need to end in a pool or if there were runouts on flat ground. I will try and keep those in mind. I'm hoping to get a chance to check out, what's it called? Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which is the new side-scrolling 2D perspective, like beat-em-up Power Rangers game, but with some, like, Mode 7 3D-ish behind the character segments. I'm a real sucker for old gen Mighty Morphin, and I'm hoping I can get some time on with that. What am I heading to? I'm heading to stuff over here. I don't know what I'm heading to, but we'll head to it. Ember, I have no idea if I will be able to tell how in-depth the tutorial is or not. Gamescom demos, much like other trade show demos, are always really hit and miss as to how much tutorial will there be versus here is game, jump into it with no explanation, go. It is hard to know how much hand-holding or not they will do. But yes, I have a handful of appointments with just interesting-looking indie that I don't know but I want to know about. I've got one day of the show that is just go wander the show floor. I've got like 2 appointments, but most of my day is go wander the show floor looking for stuff I haven't heard of. Like, that's honestly the thing I'm excited for, is I'm excited for what weird niche shit can I be the little hipster to go and like, oh, everyone should check this out. Look, how cool am I for having found this thing you don't know about? I want to find those games. Yes, opening night live is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I will be there in the room. I'm debating how I want to cover it. Part of me is like, I might create a channel in the Discord and just live text post it. Just do a text chat in the Discord, live reactions there. Or potentially like a tweet or a Blue Sky thread, maybe. Something to keep me entertained while I am in the room of... Oh good, more video games. Yeah, when was the first Planet Coaster? How long has it been since the first one? 2016, God, yeah. That's been a while. Who died and where are they? There we go. Up you get, Dorian. Yeah, I'm curious what's going to be there tomorrow. I fully expect that Death Stranding 2 is going to show up. Keely's been teasing Kojima stuff, and that just seems like the timing's going to line up. From what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem like Nintendo's going to have a big presence there, which is a shame. I was really hoping they would have like a Zelda Echoes of Wisdom demo. Because like that game's like a month-ish away from release, and this feels like it would have been a really good time for a demo if they were going to do one. Oh. What is this glowy rift? Oh, I get to have a fancy flight tomorrow. I think I've talked about this on stream before. I've gotten into the habit of bidding for upgrades on flights, which is most airlines will have a, hey, let's say you bought the cheapest of the cheap economy tickets, like I tend to do for flights. Would you like to tell us an amount you'd be willing to pay to get upgraded to a higher class? And, you know, depending on how much other people bid, maybe if we've got empty business class seats, you can have a business class seat. And I don't ever offer them much, but I'm like, you know, I'll put down 20, 30 quid, 20 or 30 pounds, and be like, if you want to give me like a fancy seat, it's if I can get business class for like £20. It means I can go sit in the business class lounge when I arrive like 4 hours early for my flight. And have like a nice breakfast and a couple of drinks and whatnot. in a quiet area, not paying airport drink prices, and it balances out. And it's not always accepted, but occasionally they'll be like, yeah, 20 quid to have a business class upgrade. And they accepted my £20 offer for my flights to Gamescom. So tomorrow I get to go sit in the business class lounge before I go sit on in the slightly quieter part of the plane. In the very front row, so that I can be the first one off the plane when it lands and not have to stand around in a line. Pay £20 to be a fancy bitch tomorrow. I've only ever flown like a fancy airline class for a long flight once in my life, and this was, I'm gonna say, like 7 years ago. When I was at Kotaku UK, I got flown out one year for something called Melbourne Games Week, which was like, hey, Melbourne in Australia would love to show off you know, things happening in the Australian game development scene, and we have this thing called Melbourne Games Week, where there's like a week of events showcasing the Australian game development scene that sort of ends in PAX Australia. And the Australian government, specifically like Victoria government, was like, do you want us to fly you out and put you up in like a 5-star hotel and you can come learn about Melbourne Games Week? And I was like, okay. They flew me out first class because it's a government, and apparently, like, that's how they roll. They don't fly people economy, no. I got to do return flights to Australia in first class, and it was a fucking brain-breaking experience. I will never get to experience that kind of luxury ever again in my life, and I savour that one flight in my heart. It was quite the thing. I hadn't even sat down yet before I was being offered my first glass of champagne of the flight. I was handed a pair of very fancy Bluetooth headphones upon sitting down that were complimentary to take home with you after the flight. I was like, okay. I was such a fancy bitch. Alright, so I'm looking for here. But yes, I will make use of a business class upgrade in that I am one of those people who, when I'm flying somewhere, I arrive at the airport a minimum 4 hours before my flight. If I'm less than 4 hours early, I feel like I'm late for the flight. That is just how I am. I do not understand the people who rock up like an hour and a half ahead of their flight and feel like, oh, I'm in no rush, I got plenty of time. That will never be me. Oh, how fucking strong are you? I'm pretty confident I've talked about this before. I love planes. I love planes for the same reasons I love trains. I love predictable modes of public transport that, like, fulfill their purpose and just sort of are these weird liminal spaces that exist. I love airports. I love the fact that when you're in an airport / on a plane, the regular rules of life just don't quite exist anymore for a bit. Oh, fuck. Planes are just trains in the air. I like to get there 2 hours early, but I did used to get there much closer in grad school because the airport was tiny. I allow 2 hours, but then I deliberately avoid flying when it's super busy. Yeah, I love being on a train, being on a plane, or being at a train station or in an airport specifically, in that I love being in this space where, like, you sort of have permission to not be productive, is one of my favorite things about liminal spaces. Like, that kind of liminal space. Like, being on a train or on a plane, you probably don't have enough internet connection to actually be productive and be responsive to messages. And as such, you kind of just have to go, I'll respond to them when I land. And while you technically can respond to a person while you're, like, in an airport, there is somewhat of an idea of, like, I've entered the airport, like, oh, I gotta be paying attention for, like, where I'm going, or if my flight's changed or anything. Like, the journey has begun. I have permission to, like, I've crossed the security barrier, I've crossed the threshold. Until I land on the other side, I'm in the nowhere zone. And I find something very freeing about being in the nowhere zone. Just being in the... No one can force me to need to do anything right now. Like, if someone called me and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the airport waiting to catch a flight, they would instantly respond like, oh, it's okay, I'll chat to you in a bit when you've landed. You know, no one expects anything of you once you've arrived at the airport. And that is weirdly freeing. The I'm not doing enough, I need to be more productive shuts up a little bit because I'm in the nowhere zone. Oh, come on. Party members, don't all die on me. Come on.
Fall back.
Echo says, long distance travelling is somehow relaxing, just zoning out with a podcast and staring out the window while some form of transport whisks you away. Right, that's the thing. It's entirely the... I'm not in control of this portion. Someone else is just going to take me somewhere, and when I get there, we'll be there. I have permission to not be responsible for this bit. Oh, where have you passed out? Okay, let's get you up. Okay, it's just the big bad left now. That's good. Okay, I can cheese my way through this fight that I'm under-leveled and under-prepared for. Oh, Echo, that's lovely to hear. I'm glad it's comfy vibing. I am going to endeavour to get through some more Welcome to Night Vale episodes tomorrow while I'm travelling. That's my plan. Finally, I will catch up on that stupid show. I'm gonna do it. Hooray! Got through the fight. Oh, have a good evening, Artisynth. Okay, we burned the pits. Go to the Citadel. Oh! No, don't give me another fight. I just died to the last one. The other one I'm thinking I might listen to some of on this this trip back, this trip to Germany is I might finally get back into listening to McElroy shows. I've been meaning to give an attempt at listening to My Brother and Me again, and this might be the bit that gets me to do it.
Save Dorian!
Alright, everyone's back up. Ooh, I am up to date on New Magnus, and it's gotten real good. After it had its wobbly start where it was trying to do way too much, introducing characters and world building and lore outside of the horror stories way too fast, once it got over that hurdle, it's pretty damn good now. Even if, as someone with a phobia of Mr. Blobby, this new Magnus, the Magnus Institute, Magnus Protocol, literally my worst nightmare. What if we made a series-long arc out of evil Mr. Blobby? I'm like, NH London says, I need to try and go back to older Dice Funk seasons, since I started with season 10 since I was intrigued by you being Cody M. My first season as a player, and I do really like my character in this season, was season 3. If you start listening to season 3 of Dice Funk, you will notice I'm not on it. I show up, I think episode 9 is where I first appear. One of the players drops out of playing, and I drop in mid-season. But my character ends up being, in some way, like, being relevant to the other player characters. It's still one of my favourite seasons of the show. I do love it a lot. It was a very different time, but I do have a lovely tattoo from season 3. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, Echo, Mr. Blobby. They literally make what if Mr. Blobby was like an eldritch being from beyond comprehension, and I already thought Mr. Blobby was an eldritch being beyond comprehension, so I was kind of fucked. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the Magnus Archives is a podcast that originally ran for like 180 episodes that starts off as like seemingly unconnected short-form horror stories that are loosely connected by some guy in a basement somewhere is reading these stories out into a tape recorder and archiving them, and becomes quite a big grand narrative by the end of it. It's recently been followed up by something called the Magnus Protocol, which it leans more toward the meta-narrative outside of the horror stories, but it still has, each episode has a horror story being sort of dictated third person and archived in some fashion. If you like Night Vale, Cecil and the lead writer do the lead writer do a podcast where they review horror movies one by one. Fantastic one and done content. Yes. Horror podcast number 9? Is that what it's called? I've heard about it. I don't have time in my life for a horror movie review podcast, but I'm sure I would enjoy it. I enjoy both the people involved. It's one of those things where I'm like, it's not a category of podcast I have time to dedicate to. Yes, I maintain that the Magnus Protocol has the same problem. Oh, one sec. Who's attacking behind me? The Magnus Protocol fundamentally has the same problem that, what was the second Adventure Zone arc? The one set in, like, the Monster of the Week one. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It was the Adventure Zone Balance, and then it was... I forget what the second one was called. But I maintain that the Magnus Protocol has the same problem, which is... the Adventure Zone and the Magnus Archives both started as relatively light on their big, grander concept, and built up over 100+ episodes, slowly built to a very big, rich, complex mythos. And when both of those narratives ended, their creators, I think, felt the need for their follow-up to be as rich and complex in episode 1 as their previous work had been at its finale, forgetting the build-up and slow build that was required to get there. The fear of like coming back to a starting point and building up again rather than continuing at the scale they built to forced both of them to be very info dump and lore heavy right from moment one, rather than having time to be small moment-to-moment stories that hadn't yet built their mythos so that it could be built over time. Amnesty, that's it. Thank you, Creakin. Hey, Saint Nobody, what did you miss? Not much. I lit some fires, and now I'm trying to enter a citadel. And I complained about Alien Romulus, and I'm going to Gamescom tomorrow. That's about how I'm doing. Okay, I have none of my healing potions. Don't make me run away and go get healing supplies to redo this fight. Let me just... Can I turn something on in settings to just give me healing items? I don't want to have to run back. I just want to beat this fight up. Okay, I can do this, I can do this. Come on, heal them up.
All right, Dorian.
Varric, you are our dedicated heal everyone up member. Okay, I think I'm about to lose again, unless this enemy gets stuck in the wall. Okay, can I just heal these party members up faster than they can die? That's the game plan. Saint Nobody, so whenever I'm not sure of a fantasy name to give a character, I've started calling them Lorik. It is a name that does not exist, but I just put Laura K together and it becomes Lorik, and now that is my generic fantasy name I give characters. Come on. Okay, keep him up, keep him up. We're so close, we're so close. I can cheese my way through this. There we go. Definitely a deserved win in that fight. I definitely was prepared. I definitely did that fight the way you were supposed to. Please, oh, please don't have more fights going on in here for me. I just want to camp. I want someone to get my healing items back. That's all I want. What is this fucking ray of flame happening? Okay, okay. Oh, coming from up in this tower. Okay. Let's, like, get out of here. Let's get out of the murder zone. I don't wish to be hit with Ray of Burning. Hello.
We couldn't control the defenses.
Yeah, no shit.
They're all trapped inside.
Cool. Do you have, like, a place to restock my healing items, please? No? Okay, sure. Can I get that landmark while the Ray of Burning is not on me? Oh god. Claim! This was a terrible idea. It succeeded, but it was a terrible idea. Oh, and those enemies are immune to the Ray of Burning, are they? Yeah, it does seem like this whole base is a gauntlet, but I would like it to be less like that. That'd be nice to me. If this base would calm the heck down. Okay. Okay, run! Run! Okay. Am I safely far enough along to not get hit by the ray now? Yeah, is there anything in the options that can let me get some of my healing items back? Come on. No. Okay. Look at me, being a coward, making progress. Okay, where is the burning laser coming from? Up there, okay. I'm getting closer. I think. Okay, okay, run before it has a chance to charge up again. I hope he can't get me under here. Okay, run. Run! Run! Cowardice to the rescue! Okay, I think this is the base of the place we were coming to. Okay. Only can be opened by some kind of mechanism. How great for me. That's wonderful news for me. Does that reach the stranded troops, is it? Are they below me somewhere? Are they down here? Stranded troops. Here? Mayhaps? No. I was definitely closest to them when I was up here. Oh, people seem quite positive about the new Veilguard trailer that came out the other day. I think Friday last week. There was a new Veilguard trailer, and I've seen a lot of sentiment that boils down to this should have been the first trailer for Veilguard. Which, I'm glad people are warming up on it after that first trailer had skeptical response from some. I'm impressed at how well it apparently is going to scale to reasonably low-end PCs as well. Okay, where am I? Oh, I'm not that far back. This is pretty good, all things considered. Okay, let's try one more time to work out where we go. I might just pause and Google in a minute. So where were we? We got up to here. Have my fallen party members somehow ended up here? I don't know. Okay, let's look. Inquisition for the Empire. Do. Interact with the marked device. And some things to light up will be shown. Okay, we're not in combat, which means I can claim this. Reach the stranded troops. Oh, is this the mechanism? Aha!
Who's there? Don't come any closer. We have swords.
I got swords too, fucker.
Demons. Is a little bow meant to intimidate us?
We are the Inquisition, and this is the Herald of Andraste.
The Herald of Andraste. Maker's breath. Forgive me. I should have known.
Yeah, you should have known. You're clearly the one at fault there, and not me. For not introducing myself.
In service of Her Imperial Majesty. My men inform me that the Citadel's defenses are deactivated. I cannot thank you enough.
Tell me about the situation here.
There were orders. A chance for peace, they said. Pull back, they said. So we did. Then the undead appeared. We couldn't hold them back. I told my men to activate the fort's defenses. A foolish move, born of desperation. There was so much about the old elven magic we never knew. We couldn't control it. We retreated, but not everyone made it through the gates. I couldn't save them. We've been trapped for weeks. Supplies were incoming, but who knows what happened to them.
I must take my leave.
Good day, Inquisitor.
There's a lot of reasons I've heard for what was going on with people being accused of being witches. You know, some of them go down to the bread was hallucinogenic at the time, and people were seeing shit that wasn't actually happening. You know, there's a whole bunch of potential explanations I've seen floated. Oh, what are all these things that have popped up? Supply caches. Okay, we can probably leave this area for now. Supply caches are not that important of a thing to be doing. Right, so what do we got? Right now, no more big missions here. Josephine's messengers have been murdered. Oh, yeah, let's go do a Josephine quest. I want to go do all my, like, side quests for a bit. Before we get back to that main plot.
They'll appoint a new divine soon. One tomorrow.
Not there. Up and around.
Theirs were not the only houses.
Right. Who killed Josephine's folks?
Do you know where this noble wanted to meet us?
I do. The Comte Boisvert's invited us to his mansion, not far from here. I pray he clears up the deaths of my messengers, as promised.
Let's go see him.
Where?
Let's go see the Comte.
Welcome, my friend.
Oh, you fancy ass son
Thank
of
you
a
for seeing
bitch.
us, Comte Boisvert.
The honor is mine. Please, sit.
I know who killed your friends.
No.
Definitely not me.
Distinguished
We appreciate your help, Comte.
The death of Lady Montily's servants must weigh heavily. Have you heard of the House of Repose?
The Assassin's League?
My contacts...
The
obtained
multiplayer
copies of
Assassin's
documents
Creed
in
game,
their
Assassin's League.
contract for life.
Oh.
The House of Repose is hereby sworn to eliminate anyone attempting to overturn the Montiliers' trading exile in Orlais.
Ah. She's trying to get the family business back up and running, and anyone who's helping her, that's helping, gonna get murdered. Someone don't want you re-establishing your family, huh? Oh god, I'm still not ready to. I gotta fly in the morning.
They're not just after your messengers, Josephine. They'll try for you, too.
I am afraid so, yes.
The contract was signed by a noble family. The Du Paraquets.
But the Du Paraquets died out as a noble line over 60 years ago.
Indeed. But the contract was signed 109 years ago.
How can a family try to kill you after they died out?
The Du Paraquets were our rivals. They drove the Montiliers from Val Royal.
Imagine being
This
that
contract was
petty.
drawn up over 100 years ago, but it wasn't invoked until I tried to overturn my family's exile.
Unpleasant though it may be, the House of Repose is merely fulfilling its contractual duties.
Hey, our family is going out, like running out of cash. We're like dying out. Our family is gonna end. But with what little money we do have, I'm gonna pay someone to go, hey, no matter if it's tomorrow or 100 years from now, if our rivals ever try and fucking get back in the game, kill them. Like, how petty do you have to be?
If the people who wanted your family dead are gone, why are the assassins still after you?
A contract is a contract, Inquisitor. Orlesian businesses live and die by their reputations. The entire guild's welfare would be endangered if an agreement was tossed aside on a whim of time or fate.
She's quite right, Your Worship. The House of Repose is doing what it feels necessary. By its standards.
I'll do what I can to stop these attacks, Josephine.
Thank you, Inquisitor. I think I may know how. The Du Paraquets still have descendants under the common branch. If we elevate them to nobility, a Du Paraquet could annul the contract on my life.
Okay.
That will take time, Lady Montiel. Time during which the House of Repose will be obliged to run.
Will they now? You are exceedingly well informed. You're not to have said you'd heard rumors, at best.
A bit of subterfuge. This contract on your life is an ugly business. One the House of Repose deeply regrets.
Oh, hey, assassin.
But this is Orlais. Even an assassin's word is his bond.
Does Comte Boisvert actually exist?
Absolutely. The Comte's offer to reveal the killers of Lady Montilet's messengers was genuine. So was his information somehow. An end to be tied up later.
Yeah, Thimba, I couldn't agree more. Assassin's Creed. Dragon Age Inquisition does hold up pretty well visually for... Like, this was what, originally PS3 360? Like, tail end of 2 console generations ago. Because, like, yeah, you say a decade ago, but specifically a decade ago in terms of, like... The way it shuffles is 2 console generations ago. It looks damn good. It looks damn good. It holds up pretty darn well. It's impressive.
I'm guessing the actual Comte Boisvert met with a fatal accident.
Comte Boisvert slumbers in a nearby closet. Nothing more. The contract on Lady Montilet's life is so unusual. We felt the courtesy of an explanation was in order.
It is appreciated, monsieur.
Your idea to seek out the Duparequet to revoke our orders is an interesting one. I wish you luck.
Yeah,
I did not come to shed blood today, Inquisitor. Only to speak. Might I pass?
Look, I'm gonna let you pass because you did us the courtesy of fucking warning us about the assassination and explaining why it was happening so that we could understand how to like come up with a plan to stop it. That is more respect than most assassins would offer in this situation. But yes, the Veilguard's looking real nice, but not only is it looking real nice, it's looking... Yeah, I mentioned this briefly offhand. The PC specs got announced the other day, and like the minimum requirements for running it on PC are like a GTX 970, which is like, oh, that is good hardware scaling for a game for a modern title. Given that it's like verified for Steam Deck, I'm like, you are doing a good job of having a good looking game that you can scale down to something lower, which is always impressive. But yeah, there's a lot about this game's art that holds up really well. Like, I think in particular, the skin texturing looks real good. Like, the way that light plays on surfaces like skin, still pretty good today.
Why warn us about your contract and let us go?
In Orlais, it is only decent to inform those involved in the contract.
No, I believe it's next gen only.
And
Let me
the
double
guild's
check.
reputation would suffer if you ignored the contract. I quite understand.
Thank you. May we conclude with my departure?
Yeah, it's current gen consoles only, but like that does include Series S, which you know is it's more in line with where you know the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X were ish. It's in that sort of ballpark. It's stronger in some ways, a little weaker in others, but yeah, it's not being released on old gen. But honestly, I don't feel like it would have taken that much work to get it running on old gen. But I feel like EA as a publisher is very ready for we move on to the new thing. And at the very least, we want on console the thing to run as well as it can and to look as fancy as it can, and I think that's reasonable.
Go then.
Good day, your worship. My lady, I pray we never meet again.
Oh, one sec.
Well, I didn't think our meeting would end like this.
We'll deal with these assassins.
I have some thoughts. Let's discuss them back at Skype. I'll feel safer with the castle walls around me.
Do you hear something?
Oh, goodness. Comte Poivert, is that you? Oh, the lock's been broken off. We'll find a saw. I realize the cabinet is quite valuable, Comte, but surely... A locksmith, then? As you wish.
The Raynar says, the fact that Veilguard is coming out at all after restarting twice is more than I hoped. I think it's impressive, like, how to put this? Given the development hell that it sounds like Valgard went through along the way, and the last couple of things BioWare released being, like, at best mixed in their reception, I think it's impressive quite how out the gate, like, impressive Veilguard is looking. There was a preview of Veilguard just after Summer Games Fest from an outlet that had gone had seen a hands-on demo with it. I think it was Eurogamer, and the tagline to their preview was something to the effect of, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it looks like BioWare is back. And I was like, I think that's the feeling a lot of people are having, is after swooshing about for a while, everyone's hoping that this will be BioWare releases a BioWare banger again. And it's been a little while since a game everyone could agree was a banger from BioWare, and it's nice to see this might be the one. Also, Darksteel, thank you very much for the 21 months of sub. Did you ever play Technomancer? I always thought it was an underrated Eurojank game. I don't believe so, but I do love a good underrated Eurojank game. I will make a note of it. Darksteel, I've talked about this before. On my first playthrough, I really didn't enjoy Andromeda, and I think it has big problems. I think the attempt to go open world largely didn't benefit the pacing of the game. I think it suffers from a lot of the busy work that kills the pacing problems that Dragon Age Inquisition does, with the everyone drops off before they finish the hinterlands problem. I feel like it suffers from not being adventurous enough with the fact it's in a new location to try new things, introduce, like, a good number of new alien species. It feels like it's retreading the things that worked in the original trilogy, just... We put it somewhere else so it wouldn't break the choice-based canon, not because we had anything interesting to say in the new place, but upon replaying it and sort of knowing what I was getting myself in for, I do really like Andromeda. I really like Andromeda in the context of knowing what to expect and not playing it going, this isn't what I like about Mass Effect, and knowing the things to, like, brace for. There is a really interesting game in there, even if it doesn't feel like the Mass Effect I knew. Darksteel says, my autistic ass loves me some busy work personally, so I loved every second of it. I love busy work, but I love busy work that... How do I put this? I love being the kind of busy work that is structured where I can go of my own volition and go do busy work that feels like I can stop and start it at any time, as opposed to, I have to 100% this before I can continue the story, even though I can feel that's negatively impacting my story pacing. Like, games that don't do a good job of letting you know when it is safe to stop busy working and come back later, and that don't do a good job of telling you, if you don't do this now, it's going to go away. And because they don't do a good job of telling you that, I feel like I have to do it all right now. The ADHD and the autism have a fight, and sometimes the ADHD desire for the plot to continue beats the autism desire to collect-a-thon. And, yeah, like, the silly little tasks in Arceus, I fucking love them. But, like, yeah, it's... Look, the autism loves tasks, and the ADHD needs novelty, and some games make me afraid to follow the novelty until I've done the tism, and that's my mix doesn't do well with that. Anyway, 1 second. There we go, sorry, yeah. Yeah, AJ says, same. It's why I love shiny hunting and Monster Hunter. The busy work is optional. I hated Assassin's Creed Valhalla because it felt like a checkbox collectathon before I could continue the story. Yeah, it's... I need to know, can I come back and do this at the end? can I come back and do this collectathon at the end when I want to? Can I do the collectathon after the story is finished? Is there a point of no return at which I should go do all the collectathon stuff if I want to do it then? How much collectathon should I be doing for the narrative pace to sort of keep itself going? Like, those kind of questions are important, and, like, I don't think that either Inquisition or Andromeda does a good job in its, like, onboarding of telling you what is an important quest and what isn't. Of telling you what you can come back and do later versus what you should do now. Telling you how much side content you should be doing to keep up with level pacing versus when it's okay to walk away from stuff. I think that that is a problem that BioWare had for a few years in the move to trying to make Mass Effect and Dragon Age both more open experiences, and neither one scratched the collectathon itch in the way that I would enjoy them scratching a collectathon itch. I hope I explained that sufficiently. Yeah. Oh no! Oh, video game, please have auto-saved. Don't do this to me, Blidio Blame. Let's find out how much I've lost. How much do I have to button mash to get back? Come on, autosave, please. Please have autosaved. Please have autosaved. Okay, we're at least here.
They'll appoint a new divine.
Okay, I'm gonna redo that whole little side quest thing. It's fine, we can skim through the text. I remember roughly what we're asking. It'll be fine. Love technical solidness in video games.
Do you know where?
I pray he clears up the
Let's go see the Compt. I wonder if the Compt will be in some way bad. Okay, so skip. We welcome your help. Skip.
Is hereby sworn to eliminate anyone attempting.
Skip.
Unpleasant though it may be.
Contract is ancient.
She's quite right, Your Worship.
I'll help stop them. Was there ever a Compt? Did you kill the real one?
I did not come to shed blood today. Thank you.
You can
May we
leave.
conclude with my departure?
Go then.
Good day, Your Worship.
Well, I didn't think our meeting would end like this.
We'll deal with these assassins.
I have some thoughts. Let's discuss them back at Skyhold. I'll feel safer with the castle's walls around me.
Do you hear something?
Oh, goodness. Comte Poivre.
I was hoping I could let him out.
The lock's been broken off. We'll find a saw. I realize the cabinet is quite valuable, Comte, but surely... A locksmith, then? As you wish.
Cool. Now we leave. And don't crash. We good? Hold my breath. Hooray! Yeah, part of me does wish I played this on Xbox just to have access to quick resume and FPS boost, but I made my call. Here's the thing, I already owned it on PlayStation, and it was... I associate the game with PlayStation in my head, and therefore didn't really think about it. I just played it where I associate Dragon Age with.
I'm your dwarf.
I want to know.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I can.
Okay, let's quickly go find... Oh, actually, is there anything to do at the throne? No. Okay. Let's go talk to Josephine and then go find more side quests to do.
I'm so sorry, Inquisitor. I never thought my family's trading status would trap us in an
Oh,
assassin's plot.
Evdo, you won't import your saves to the new one. So previously they used Dragon Age Keep, which is like an EA server thing, and like your save information was saved on EA's end and you imported from there. They're doing the Mass Effect 2 on PlayStation motion comic thing, where Dragon Age Veilguard will apparently start with like, hey, here's a bunch of the plot from past Dragon Age games. What choice would you like to have happened here or here? And then this happens. And you go through and, like, make the choices from the past Dragon Age games at the start of Veilguard. And then Veilguard will just start with those choices having been made. Let's see.
You couldn't have known it would lead to this House of Repose coming after you.
It still shouldn't have slipped past me. I've tracked down the last two parakeets. If they become gentry, they can annul the contract on my life. We'll require a noble from Val Royaux to sponsor them, a judge to provide documents, a minister to ratify them.
It's so like you to take the longest course of action, even when your life is at stake.
I assume you already know everything about this mess.
Yeah, of course she does.
There is a faster way, Josephine. The original contract on your life is in the vaults of the House of Repose. If my agents infiltrate it and destroy the original, the assassin will have no obligation to chase you.
Liliana, please. I want no more bloodshed over a personal affair.
Don't be so stubborn, Josie. How long will it take you to gather these favors in Val Royaux?
Give me some time to think this over.
I'll post a watch on our ambassador in case the House of Repose visits.
I appreciate it, but I still believe elevating the Duparaquets will solve this. First, we need to perform some favors in Val Royaux. I'd be happy to discuss where we could begin. Any news on the House of Repose, Inquisitor?
You said I'd have to do some favors in Val Royaux if we want to make the Duparaquets lords.
The Countess Dion is our first step. Her lover, a mage from the White Spire, is missing. Bring her news of him and she'll be very amenable to sponsoring the Duparaquets as lords.
Find a sponsor for the Duparaquets. You know what? I'm going to respect Josephine's wishes. I'm going to try and help her do this above board rather than doing some murders along the way. Because Josephine's nice. I want to respect her wishes. She's the cutie. Okay.
Have you heard anything?
Not yet. I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Find a sponsor for the Duparaquets. It's gonna take 18 minutes. We'll send Josephine to do that. That makes sense. Present for Bianca. Yeah, we'll do that. No, I'm not a fan of the real-time element of this either, but it is what it is.
My scouts report no signs of danger in the pass nearby.
I will arrange patrols to ensure it stays that way.
Yeah, you get on top of that, Colin. Right, and then we see who else has side quests for us right now. The Josephine one is being worked on. So let's look at the quest map. Right, working over from the side. And the door to Solasan. Oh, I went there and I found that door, and I never went into it because I didn't want to do it off stream, off stream because it seemed plot relevant, and then I forgot to go back there. Haha. Okay. No big side quest there right now. No big side quest there right now. Cullen has learned the Templar's primary source of red lyrium is quarry near here. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff in prized Lyon. Sure, let's go there. There's... Sorry, whose side quests were there? Cassandra's was one of them. Who else is... do we have to take Cullen with us, or can I just ignore Cullen? I'm going to assume I can avoid actually taking Cullen. So let's take Varric, Cassandra, Solus, I guess. Oh, is this the place that was full of all the rain? Because if so, I can't do Varric's quest here yet either. Maybe it's not. I know there's one place I can't go for Varric yet, because there's a stupid door in the way.
Inquisitor.
Scout Harding.
Oh, I haven't
We're on
been
the
here yet,
outskirts
that's
of
it.
Sarnia. This is what's left of the town. The lucky ones got out before the river froze over. The rest, penned in by Fade Rifts and Red Templars. We're the first friendly face they've seen in a long, long while.
Are you alright? You look a little cold.
Me? Well, it is a touch chilly. My toes are freezing.
A lot of people are going to be so gay for
I'm
Harding.
sorry. You
In
didn't
Vale
need to know
Guard.
that.
With her being romanceable and all. Also, I love that the devs have said, like, hey, if you don't romance characters in your party, they may romance each other. Currently, the only example of that the devs have given is Tash and Harding, which is basically what we're looking at on screen now, is if you don't romance either of them, Harding will end up with a big, tall Canary. And tall and small... That's a great energy. Right, who isn't into tall and small as a
How did an
dynamic?
entire river freeze so quickly?
It got really cold, really quickly. Sarnia relies on its river for everything. Trade, food. They weren't expecting this.
I should look in on the townsfolk, see what they can tell me.
I'm sure they'll appreciate it. The Red Templars have been mounting frequent attacks. They want Emprise de Lyon. Bad.
Prestigio.
Let's get out there and take it back from them.
Yeah. As I said before, I don't know how long of a stream this is going to be today, just because I have...
This could help us.
In 5 hours, I have to be leaving the house for a flight, so I'm like... I should probably get some sleep. And that might require me to just, you know, have an early night. But, let's do a little bit. Let's try and finish up Cassandra's thing here. At least a bit. Imagine sleeping early. Couldn't be me. Well, it's not usually me, but I I've...
This is one of the mages I spoke of.
Yeah. I have learned the skill of sleeping on minimal notice when required. I know that if I have travel, you know, if I'm in a situation where I'm not going to get a good chance to sleep unless I go to sleep early, I can make myself sleep. I can force myself to get a night's sleep. You know, I can sleep on public transport. I can force myself to have a little early night. I can get it done if I must. Oh, Thimba, generally speaking, I'm the same as you, but I'm also... many years of, like, when I was first doing, like, games writing as a job, this is before, like, Inquisition, before this was, like, a paid thing, I used to be, like, dirt poor and living, like, considerably away from London, doing, like, a full-time job outside of writing. So if I wanted to go to a press event in London, it involved, like, a 3-4 hour long coach journey, because that was the cheapest way to get to London. And, like, let's say press event finishes at, like, 11:30 at night, I rush home, get the midnight coach. I'm not going to get home till, like, 4 a.m. I had to learn to sleep on public transport. And learning to sleep on, like, a bumpy-ass coach in the middle of nowhere that has, like, lights on and people talking despite it being, like, silly a.m. Because if I don't, I'm going to have to go to a shift, like, 6 a.m. Like, 2 hours after that coach ends, I've got to be working a shift, and I've got to stay awake through it. Doing that for a couple of years, pretty regularly, taught me how to sleep anywhere and through anything. I have the ability to go, oh, I'm not going to function if I don't sleep. Now, if I don't sleep now, I'm not going to function in the future. Fucking do it. Fucking flip the switch, have a sleep. I can't do it often, but if I genuinely know it's going to happen, bam, out I go. It is a special ability I have honed. Oh, I have, like, plenty of things that are part of the routine. It involves putting some noise-cancelling headphones on, and, like, there's some steps in the process for sleeping on public transport, but
I'm injured.
I found the setup that worked.
Dead. But at least it is done.
There we go, Cassandra. I killed all your people for you. You know what? We're going to go back to Skyhold. I'm going to go chat to Cassandra and be like, I killed them all for you. NH London says, I have a Let's Play sleep aid series that I listen to each night that's really helped me fall asleep faster. Yeah, I have an equivalent of that. For me, it is the podcast The Empty Bowl, which is a... Here are the gentle sounds of the ocean, and some very light music in the background, but it's very gentle. And two people talking about American cereals, most of which you in the UK will never have a chance to purchase or eat. Not things that, like, are so important that you're gonna, like, you know, desire to stay awake to not miss any. It's not like listening to a story where if I fall asleep I'm going to miss plot beats and I'm not going to understand what's happening. But it is interesting enough to keep the ADHD entertained. So I just listen to these people calmly talking about American breakfast cereal developments, and it has really helped me to, you know, nod off. That is my thing I listen to fall asleep.
What do you need, my friend?
Oh, you have nothing to say about the fact we killed all those
Another
people for
time,
you?
then.
That you asked me to go kill for you? And I did it, and we killed them. See, this is the thing. It's... Inquisition is not great at making it clear what is an important quest and what isn't. Because, like, I went and killed all of those people Cassandra wanted killed.
What can I do?
That feels like a thing that should trigger, like, a short cutscene to be like, ah, thank you for killing those people. Nah. It's unclear what are important quests and what aren't, is the thing. Yeah, it's not the worst problem in the world, but it is a minor annoyance. Alright, anything new for you?
I can spare some time. What do you need?
No.
I'll tell you what I can.
Let's try. While we're passing, let's see if Solus has got anything.
How can I help?
No, okay, cool. Ah, NH London, enjoy climbing your fake rocks. Have fun with the rock doing. One sec. Where are these? Oh, that red lyrium's not that far from the starting point. We can probably we can maybe do that. We'll give it a try. This might be the last thing I try and do tonight, and then we leave it for next time I stream, which won't be until next week. It won't be till Monday next week. I apologize, there won't be more streams this week. I'm going to be traveling, and I really can't be arsed with trying to, like, do a remote streaming setup from a laptop in an Airbnb somewhere in Cologne. I don't have it in me. I'm going to need to use that time when I am not writing about games. I'm going to have to use it to sleep, because otherwise I will die. Gamescom will kill me. Saint Nobody says, my wife had a podcast that she found helpful for her insomnia, but it kept me awake because it sounded like the host had memorized the script phonetically, and I found her cadence infuriatingly nonsensically off-putting. You know what I would suggest, Saint Nobody? You can get sleep headphones that are like a fabric band you wear around your head that just happen to have like 2 flat discs that are very quiet speakers. That, like, even if you're a side sleeper, it's a small enough thing that, like, you don't really feel yourself lying on it. And it can be very, very quiet, so, like, it's not making enough noise for your partner to hear, but it's loud enough for the person who needs the thing to listen to while sleeping. Before Jane and I found that, like, the empty bowl was one that worked for us both, that's how I used to do it, is I used to, like, come to bed after Dice Funk at, like, 3 in the morning and put podcasts on in a little sleep headband.
Charles de Chauvin at your service.
Yeah, how dare I? How dare I on the not streaming thing? How dare? How dare I spend a week learning about new games so I have new things to talk about rather than talking about games. I need to go play some games so I have games to tell you whether they're good or not. Let's see if I can go this way. I feel like this is going to be a dead end. I think I have to go further before I double back, but... I'm just doubling back into town. Yeah. Okay. How much of a nightmare is this trek going to be to try and find this, this deposit? Oh! It's here? Oh, there's 3 of them here. Okay. And one of them is seemingly pretty close. Was it not? Yeah. No, okay, I'm gonna have to go up and around still, I think. This is actually going to be where I was trying to go, but we'll do it. Okay, we have a camp set up. Hopefully this will give me a sense if I'm going even vaguely the right way. No, so that was kind of a dead end. What if I walk forward and right? Forward, right, get up the top of the cliff and then go left. No. I don't believe I can.
I try not to touch that lyrium.
Yeah, the whole situation about the why or why not we're not getting more Dead Cells content is a whole complicated he said, she said mess at this point.
I'd rather be cold than touch that stuff.
Maybe this is getting me the right way. I mean, there's a lot of red lyrium around, which to me says I'm probably going the right way. I'm literally just gonna sprint through if I can. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I guess I'm gonna fight them. Is this cave a dead end? Feels like there should be a way out of this cave. More big boys. How to get here though? How? How do I? How How? Is there a way to get, like, on top of here? Oh, no, there is a way through here. I just walked past it several times, I guess. I walked in circles around that cave like a fool. Spin to win indeed, Grimlock Master. It is the only thing that has made playing as a warrior even vaguely redeemable. Warrior is not usually my playstyle, and the Beyblade is the only thing it's got going for it. I love how the mission is to destroy these 3 specific spires of red lyrium for Varric. We've run past like a dozen red lyrium spires that weren't the plot ones, so they didn't matter. But like, oh, these 3 specific ones, very important. So very important. Varric will be glad that all of the red lyrium is gone. Grimlock Master, honestly not. Like, maybe for someone else, but, like, for me, the warrior... The lack of elemental options on the warrior just makes them feel really one-note after doing a mage playthrough. I can't speak for anyone else, but, like, none of the mage approaches I've taken have felt particularly satisfying. Sorry, none of the warrior builds I've done have felt particularly satisfying in the way that the mage kind of did. Hey, Terrace Cassie. Okay. Terrace Cassie says, any tips for this war of mine? There's no tutorial, so I'm left to figure stuff out for my own. I wish I could give you tips for that game, but that game's explicit design purpose is... It's war. No choice will ever be certain. Fucking work it out and fail along the way, and in doing so, see all of the pitfalls of the terribly no correct choice situation that is war. And as a result, that game, like, does not tutorial well, and I really can't, like, give you any advice, because the advice ultimately boils down to there is no good choice. No matter what you choose, stuff will get fucked up. Oh, the horrors of war. Tips and bits. Emotionally, I agree with you. I love the idea of playing big, heavy sword hitter, and in a lot of games, it's really fun to do. I very much enjoy it, like a Elden Ring, Dark Souls, etc. In this, where like, yeah, you're doing real-time combat, but fundamentally, it's like RPG menu selection. Big, heavy swing, less satisfying. In the same way that big, heavy swing is sometimes less satisfying in D&D, because theatre of the mind can only carry you so far, and when every turn is, I do my attack, I do my bonus attack, I add my things on that make my attack stronger, I hit it real good, and that's every round of combat, is kind of less interesting than playing like a bard with a million spell slots. They'll be doing something different and interesting every turn. Honestly, I'm hopeful that Warrior will feel better in Veilguard purely because for all the people who, I think understandably, have made complaints about Veilguard going more action-oriented, I do think it probably is going to help Warrior to feel like a more interesting class to play if Warrior feels more like an actual action combat class than an RPG class, which is not what Warrior builds are really built for. I'm mainly playing a Warrior right now because I've just come off of recording Season 10 of Dice Funk, and in that I've been playing big, heavy hit, two-handed melee weapon Barbella. Lovable idiot that she is, and I wanted a bit of that flavor in my Dragon Age.
I will never understand why anyone would make ground vertical.
Okay, onward we continue. Oh, it's going to be a landmark up here, isn't it? Is it up here? Oh, where was it? Was it... No, that's fine. I won't worry about it. Onward we go. There was one other mission that we're kind of gonna... Okay, there's a rift that we might hit along the way. Vandroth says, look everyone, it's Emprise de Lyon, everyone's favourite area in the game. No, that's not correct. The Hinterlands is everyone's favourite area in the game, silly. It's why everyone spends so much time there at the start of the game, because it's their favourite area. Onward we continue, ignoring all this red lyrium, to go find the one piece of red lyrium that Varric wants destroyed. Yeah, there's a cave there, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for one specific piece of red lyrium. Ooh! Hey, Pride Demon! It's been a while since we've seen one of you. Big boy! Honestly, I've seen people complain about it, but I like the new Pride Demon design. I am a fan.
How far will this lyrium spread?
Ah, come on. Look, I don't normally set set Iron Bull up with a sword and shield, but it is kind of funny. It's kind of funny to watch. He is indeed wielding a toothpick, and I'm finding it amusing. It looks wrong, and it makes me chuckle. Okay, how do we get to this red lyrium deposit? It's up here somewhere. I'm sorry, Iron Bull. Only one Canary gets to wield the big phallic weapon on this team, and it's not you. Just going to emasculate you just a little bit. I get to wield the big heavy thing. You can have a dainty little sword and shield. You know, that's all you can manage, I reckon. Don't worry, we'll let you graduate to a bigger weapon when you're ready. Tee-hee. Oh, maybe we do the extra half hour so we can be around for that Nintendo Direct. That 10-minute long, museum-specific Nintendo Direct at the hour. Well, here's the thing, Vandroth. I've largely given him the skills for a big two-handed weapon, but then just put a sword and shield in his hand. And it amuses me.
I want to know.
I'll tell you what I can.
Yeah, again, I completed your quest, Varric. I thought we'd done it.
Another time, Varric.
I assumed you'd have a little thank you for destroying the red lyrium deposits for me. I quite appreciate that. Thank you, my friend, for doing that thing for me, innit? Alright, where around here right now do we have side character quests to do? Dark spawner surfacing on the storm coast, surfacing through tunnels. We gotta come back and do a quest for you at some point. Griffiths is behind the disappearance of the Seekers of Truth, but she needs help to prove it. Okay, we'll do one more little quest. We'll do. Then I should go to bed. I should get some sleep. It is 4.5 hours until I have to leave for the airport. I will go get some sleep soon. I'll be good. I'll be sensible. This area with all the little rays of sunlight through the trees is rather pretty.
Odd that the trail should lead us here.
Ban Loren is a pious, unassuming man. What has he become involved in?
He might simply be a victim as well.
Let's see what lies within.
Oh, I can massacre through these soldiers. We're good. This isn't going to take me any time at all. Level 11, it might as well be level 2 or 3 at that point.
Promises. I should have known. The Order of Fiery Promise is a cult with strange beliefs about the Seekers. They've hounded us for centuries.
What kind of strange beliefs?
They believe they are Seekers, the only rightful ones. They say we robbed their powers long ago, preventing them from ending the world.
Ending the world?
The only way to truly eradicate evil in their eyes, the world will be reborn a paradise. It's all nonsense.
Why haven't the Seekers dealt with them?
We have, many times. They simply reappear after a time like weeds. Nobody knows how.
Is it possible to negotiate with them?
They're fanatics, drunk on whatever forbidden magic they can find to make themselves true Seekers. This explains why the Seekers might be here, but not the connection to Corypheus.
Okay, we're getting seemingly some leaks of what might be coming in opening night live tomorrow. Red Dead Redemption 2 has had a trailer seemingly leak for getting a next-gen upgrade in March of next year. Maybe we're getting some news about Indiana Jones coming to PS5 earlier next year. And what was the other one I saw doing the rounds? Oh, Bully! The game Bully has been rated in a bunch of regions today, which suggests it might be about to shadow drop. Like a port or a version of it might be about to shadow drop on consoles tomorrow.
The promises will pay for this.
Saying nobody, why is Red Dead Redemption 1 Remaster so expensive? Because it's Rockstar and they know they can charge that much and people will pay it. Like, that's the honest answer. Also of interesting note, it definitely seems like Switch 2, mass production is ramping up. There have been reports over the last week of 3 different manufacturers that were instrumental in manufacturing the first Switch, who have started going, "Hello, investors. We would like to let you know that in quarter 3, we're expecting very good financials because we are starting mass production on components for a new major handheld and home gaming device. We are entering mass production." Some of them have even gone as far as to say, "We are making production components for a new Nintendo device, and we are entering mass production." So, like, semiconductors and companies that handle, like, USB-C power conversion are not being subtle about the fact that September through December, they plan to be producing very large numbers of components for, sure sounds like Switch 2.
As the Seekers of Truth,
Oh yeah,
they've
then
been resistant to the effect
Vandroth, they're not
The
moving
Elder
away
One
from the
has
Switch
seen
concept
fit
for a
to place
while,
them in your
for
care.
many reasons.
Reclaim your destiny, and know that the Elder One expects your devotion as repayment.
Ooh.
Signed by Lord Samson, commander of the Red Templars. Does
Ooh.
Corypheus not realize the promises want the world to end? What use are they to him?
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's not just because people would riot if they moved away from the Switch concept. The Switch is on track to become the best-selling game console of all time before its successor releases. It's on track for that. But even more specifically, Nintendo no longer has, like, home console game development studios and handheld game development studios. They smushed them into one. Because, as they rightly worked out, A, their handhelds have always been what has sold best, and B, their biggest problem has always been Nintendo consoles largely survive based on how frequently they get first-party software, and if you're not making 2 SKUs, you're just making one thing. You can make twice as much content, which means even if you don't get good third-party support, you're going to have twice as much Nintendo stuff there to keep people busy. And that, I think, has been the magic recipe for Nintendo, is focus on one device that is like a handheld, because that's what you're good at, where all of your first-party output is on that one thing, so even if you don't get third-party support, you get enough first-party that it feels worth owning Nintendo. It guarantees the Switch concept, the basic concept of the Switch is going to be around a while.
So Corypheus sold the Seekers to these cultists?
And they leapt at the chance, of course. But this doesn't explain how he captured the Seekers in the first place, or what's been done with them. We must keep looking.
I'll say this, Tibbs and Bits. My understanding is that Nintendo's new leadership is clearly very conscious of the times in the past Nintendo has sailed on rocky waters, and I don't even know if it's necessarily that they're more conservative, but they are definitely reassuringly aware of the reasons that they have nearly lost everything in the past, and what their current successes are, and the importance of not rocking the boat when they've got a good thing.
The letter said Seekers were resistant to red lyrium.
Our abilities grant us many gifts, but a resistance to red lyrium's corruption. That seems strange. Although it would explain why none have numbered among the Red Templars. And thus Seekers would be useless to Corypheus. He would have no leash to hold us.
You sound worried.
I am. The Seekers are my family.
Okay then, let's try and sort this out for you, Cassandra. Yes. Honestly, I think one of the most reassuring signs for me right now of like Nintendo being on a good track is weirdly the announcement of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom for next month. Because it does, to a degree, signal like, hey, even if I have some problems with statements they've made in the past of like what it would take for them to let Zelda be the protagonist of an entry in the series, it does suggest higher ups at Nintendo did hear the demand for playable Zelda and went, yeah, maybe we should look into you know, even if we're not going to do it the way that people necessarily want us to do it, go, what is a way we would be interested in doing that thing people are asking for? And I'm like, that's more awareness of audience requests than Nintendo. Like, it's showing more awareness of being aware of the conversations around Nintendo games than Nintendo has seemed in a very long time. Nintendo has, like, actively seemed to put their fingers in their ears and be like, I don't want to know what the fans think for a long time, and that has led to a very up and down relationship with audiences, but playable Zelda is one of those moves where it's like, okay, I really would not have imagined a Nintendo of like 5 years ago having that on their radar as a thing they're willing to do. Oh, they're never gonna fucking translate Mother 3 because Nintendo doesn't want to have to deal with
Daniel,
the potentially transphobic content in that game and working out how to adapt or not adapt it.
Is you? You're alive.
They don't want to deal with
how
that.
are you? I'm so glad I found you.
No, they put a demon inside me. It's
Oh.
tearing me up.
What? You can't be possessed. That's impossible.
I'm not possessed. They fed me things. I can feel it growing.
I think there's a way you could do the Magypsy that, and again, I don't think they want to have to deal with the name the Magypsies, because it sure does contain a term for traveler communities that is no longer acceptable, while also being a community of characters in game who are very complicatedly described as to whether they are cross-dressers or gender fluid or what the deal with them is, but like they are not terribly flattering depictions. I think Nintendo just doesn't want to have to think about how to adapt them.
The Promisers will pay for what they've done.
No. The Lord Seeker.
Of course we'll find him. If he lives, we'll...
Lucius betrayed us, Cassandra. He sent us here, one by one. An important mission, he said. Lies. He was here with them all along. He's still working with them.
Saint Nobody, I'm willing to be corrected. My understanding was that the word beginning with G is used negatively and derogatory towards both Romani and Traveller communities, and that Traveller, my understanding was a sort of overall term for a bunch of communities that included the Romani communities. But yes, because like for those who aren't aware, there is a term that I grew up knowing, GYP, JIP, that was like to swindle, to probably steal money from someone, to be dishonest in some way, to get money out of someone, which comes out of that term for Romani Traveller communities. It's like, yeah, no. I can see why Nintendo doesn't want to have to think about how to localize a group of characters that are iffy in how they're presented. How you communicate their gender is going to be complicated, and also that word is built into their name. But again, I'm happy to be corrected if I've misunderstood any of that. That is my understanding as best I know it.
But we met Lord Seeker Lucius in Val Royeaux. He couldn't have been here.
That wasn't him. It was a demon, masquerading.
What? How could that be?
The Lord Seeker allowed it. He let the demon take command while he...
Came here.
Cassandra.
Now is not the time for sympathy.
Wait.
Oh, Brax Talandri says, why are you such a good D&D player? That's lovely to hear. As someone that started playing D&D on Dice Funk, incredibly anxious about my own ability to
you know me.
imaginatively pretend to be someone other than myself. That's a really lovely thing to hear.
Go to the Maker's side, Daniel. You will be welcome.
Alright, wait until this conversation wraps, or we have a pause in it. Yeah, when Season 3 of Dice Funk started and I first joined it, I was super anxious about my ability to imagine the perspective of a character who was not myself and put myself in their shoes and make decisions as a person who is not me that I have to hypothetically inhabit the role of. I found that really hard. It was like part of the appeal of joining Dice Funk was to have an opportunity to learn to do that, and to hear I'm good at D&D now. I was like, yay, look at me, I'm good at pretending to be an elf and some shit. I love pretending to be fantasy creatures and getting into hijinks and saying yes to stuff I know will have negative consequences for me later, and then complaining when the DM gives me those negative consequences as if I didn't knowingly opt into them. Haha.
Apprentice, I have never known a finer young man. Now we find Lord Seeker Lucius.
Yeah, as I say, I might be wrong if Traveller is a specifically UK term. The reason that I'm familiar with it is probably because from being from the UK, I have spoken to people in the UK about like, hey, what is the correct term to use for your community, and being told Traveller or Roma or Romani. Romani, Roma, and Traveller I've been told are all okay, but that is because I'm talking to people from the UK community. So if outside of the UK it's Roma or Romani and not Traveller for outside of the UK, cool, I will keep that in mind. My lens is somewhat UK specific, but yes, regardless, yeah. Nifix still lives in my head. Brax, Nifix still lives in mine. I would love to some season on Dice Funk have an excuse to bring Nifix back. Like, talking about Season 10, there is a mechanic for bringing long-dead characters back to life that has been established in Dice Funk. Season 10 is all about that. If someone... Look, I'm open to the idea that someone takes Nifix's body to the Well of Resurrection in Dice Funk to bring her back for another season. I would love to play another Nifix season, and to let her have the happy ending she survives the whole season that she didn't get the first time around. Oh no, that's Neelix. Sorry, Nifix is Gamer Gnome, isn't it? Gamer Gnome. I gave two of my characters very similar names, and I will forever beat myself up over this stupid decision I made. I am a fool. Gamer Gnome is great. Gamer Gnome did nothing wrong. Gamer Gnome never did anything wrong. Vandroth says, I mean, you literally agreed to have your character murdered by a cop to make a story better. I don't know a lot of players who would do that. I still mourn for what I did there, but also... Look, that was maybe my favourite character in all of Dice Funk, but, I knew what the story needed, and I committed to what the story needed in that moment. Nifix did nothing controversial at all. Yes, and no one ever blamed me for the decisions my character made. I was never held morally responsible for her kind of emotionally charged decisions. No one ever thought I was a morally bad person for playing a character who made some rash decisions.
Cassandra, with a woman I can only assume is the new Inquisitor.
You must be very proud of your handiwork.
I presume you know we Seekers of Truth were once the original Inquisition. Oh yes. We fought to restore order in a time of madness long ago, as you do now. And we became proud. We sought to remake the world, to make it better. But what did we create? The Chantry, the Circles of Magi. A war that will see no end.
We are not the original Inquisition.
Of course you say that now.
So you did all this because you hate our order?
We Seekers are abominations, Cassandra. We created a decaying world and fought to preserve it even as it crumbled. We had to be stopped. You don't believe me? See for yourself. The secrets of our order passed to me after the former Lord Seeker was slain. The war with the mages had already begun, but it was not too late for me to do the right thing.
And this was the right thing?
Lord Seeker, what you've done.
I know. What Corypheus did with the Templars does not matter. I have seen the future. I have created a new order to replace the old. The world will end so we can start anew.
Blah, 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 blah.
Beginning. Join us, Cassandra. It is the Maker's will.
I don't think it is. Oh, you're literally level 7. You're weaker than your, like, the underlings I had to fight to get to you. Lucius, you're nothing. Down you go.
He was insane. He had to be. The influence of Corypheus, perhaps? Was he trying to disable the Seekers?
All these wasted lives.
He could not have destroyed all of us. I won't accept it. Let us return to Skyhold. I wish to see what's in this Book of Secrets.
We just, like, warp back? I guess. There we go. I love doing Dice Funk. God, I've been doing it now for... I'm gonna say nearly as long as Pogquisition. I'm gonna say it's gotta be coming up on... So, seasons 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 7 seasons. 2 seasons is about 3 years, so... Yeah, 2 seasons is about... no, 2 seasons is about 1.5 years. So 1.5 years, 3 years, 4.5 years. Maybe like 6? When did season 3 come out? I gotta Google this now. Season 3, episode 9, Dice Funk. Season 3 was 2017, yeah, so 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years. I've been doing this, and over that time, my favorite thing about doing Dice Funk has undeniably been the scenes that I have gotten to do where I have been so invested in my own character arc that I, the player, have, like, felt genuine emotion that has seeped into my performance. Like, I think about, Season 3, Veltari in the mirror, speaking to young Veltari. Like, the emotion you can hear in my voice in that scene is me crying. Like, genuinely IRL crying while giving the performance, because I was just like, I had put so much of myself into that character that when that whole scene happened, I very genuinely had a lot of myself to give in that moment. And those are, I think, the scenes that have really, really done something for me, that I've really valued, is like, the ones where the parts of myself I've put into the character have come to fruition in a way where I can have a very genuine reaction with the character in a strong moment of theirs. It's, yeah, Veltari was a while ago. Veltari was my first, like, proper long-term campaign D&D character. I'd done one-shots, I'd started playing campaigns with people that kind of fizzled out before they ever really got to a conclusion. Veltari was my first D&D character that, like, got to have a proper character arc and finish a campaign and have a conclusion, and oh god, she means so much to me. I love her. She's perfect. Veltari did nothing wrong except for the things she did wrong, but she feels real bad about them.
This tome has passed from Lord Seeker to Lord Seeker since the time of the old Inquisition. And now it falls to me.
She's responsible for being Lord of the Bozogs. The fact that when Bozogs happen now, Bozogs will sometimes be called Veltari because it's a common name for the Bozogs, and I'm like, Veltari will take you in if no one else will. Tiny little kick friends.
That's a lot of not very exciting reading, apparently.
We'll finish this cutscene and we'll watch the museum Nintendo Direct and then I'm going to bed.
Oh, you're joking.
Do you know what the Rite of Tranquility is? The last resort used on mages in the Circle, leaving them unable to cast but depriving them of dreams and all emotion. It should only be used on those who cannot control their abilities, but that has not always been the case.
Deprived of all emotion. That sounds...
I always thought it a necessary evil.
Pretty fucking...
What finally began the Mage Rebellion
harsh.
was the discovery the Rite of Tranquility could be reversed.
Oh.
The Lord Seeker at the time covered it up. Harshly. There were deaths.
People worked out how to undo lobotomies, and that was a problem.
Dangerous knowledge. The shock of its discovery in addition to what happened in Kirkwall. But it appears we've always known how to reverse the rite. From the beginning.
Yeah. So, basically, lobotomizing mages as a form of punishment had been a thing. And it turns out, like, hey, we didn't just discover how to undo those wizard lobotomies. Oh no, we've always known how to reverse this barbaric thing we do as a punishment to wizards. But, like, you know, can't let them know that they could have their emotions returned to them and their powers returned to them. Gotta leave them without that knowledge, because that knowledge would allow them to, you know, get their emotions back. And the first one they would probably feel is anger, fury, righteous indignation. Can't be having that. Therefore, gotta go to war to keep the secret.
So the rebellion could have been prevented.
Perhaps. But it was a long time coming, for many reasons. We created the Rite of Tranquility. I told you of my vigil, the month I spent emptying myself of all emotion. I was made tranquil, and didn't even know. Then the vigil summoned the spirit of faith to touch my mind. That broke tranquility, and gave me my abilities. The Seekers did not share that secret. Not with me, not with the Chantry, not even with... There's more. Lucius was not wrong about the Order. I thought to rebuild the Seekers once victory was ours. Now I'm not certain it deserves to be rebuilt.
You said there was more in the book?
At some point, power becomes its own master. We cast aside ideals in favor of expedience and tell ourselves it was all necessary for the people. Will that happen to us, Inquisitor? Will we repeat history?
Oh, one sec. No.
Speed running.
No.
We might. It would be lying to say it's impossible.
An honest answer, if not a comforting one.
I don't think I've ever seen you so shaken.
I do not think the Seekers have been doing the Maker's work. Not truly. Perhaps we believed it once. The original Inquisition came to be during a terrible time. But now, we harbored secrets and let them fester. We acted to survive, but not to serve. That is not the Maker's work.
Okay, you know what? There is a Nintendo Museum Direct starting in like 1 minute. Should we finish this conversation and watch it? And I was going to say, do we pause, watch the Direct and come back? Let's finish this conversation.
If you did rebuild the Seekers...
It's to do with a museum. I doubt there's going to be anything that interesting, but...
We will always spread to the winds, and some may still be out there. I would find them one by one. We would all read this book. No more secrets. Then together we would establish a new charter. The Maker's work in truth.
If anyone can rebuild them into something worthwhile, you can.
But are they worth rebuilding?
You could make them worth it.
I will think on your words. Thank you. I could not have done this on my own.
Okay, yeah, we're at the end of the combo anyway, that's fine. There we go, that was... We did progress. Right, I am going to quickly hop over to the other... over to this channel. Here we go. And let's watch this Nintendo Direct for 10 minutes, and then it's time for me to go to bed. Oh. You know what? I'll mute this, and I will read the subtitles out. Hello everyone, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto. Today I'm speaking to you from the Nintendo Museum, which is currently preparing for its grand opening. Right now, I'm standing in the museum's main entrance. Here's what it looks like from the outside. It's a grey building with some trees. It's built on the site of the original factory where Nintendo made Hanafuda and other playing cards. Oh, that's neat! Quality checks happened here during the Famicom era. I used to come here often, so it feels nostalgic to me. This area, which was once filled with trucks, has been turned into a Mario-themed plaza. It's got some pipes and some blocks. This whole site has so much history with Nintendo products. And now it has been transformed into a museum. Today I'd like to give you a quick introduction on what you'll find here. It's not meant to look like an NES. In Japan, it was the Famicom and it looked very different. It's a big semicircular room with a bunch of stuff on the walls. Let's turn the sound on.
Hi.
Oh, it was just silent. I turned the sound back on. This is the second floor. Here we're displaying products that Nintendo has released since it was founded. Yeah, I turned the sound on to hear, like, is there going to be music to this scene? There was nothing. Wherever you look, you'll find different products from the past all the way up until now. Mostly focused on video game systems. Okay, so the second floor is like... You'll even find some giant controllers. Yeah, come look at every console variant that's ever existed or whatever. Take a look at whatever catches your eye when you visit, along with the different systems. You can also see Nintendo's creativity and the fruits of our labor on display. I think many of you are aware, but Nintendo was making in-home entertainment well before working on video games. The company was founded 135 years ago in the year 1889. Back then, our main focus was making Hanafuda and Kurata playing cards. Nintendo then went on to create toys that encouraged various kinds of play. eventually leading to Game & Watch and Famicom. You can find those products from our past here as well. Let's take a quick peek at the exhibits. This is the Famicom exhibit. Take a look at this. The Japanese hardware design is different between the hardware design is different between the Japanese and international versions. Back then, the designs of our products sometimes varied between regions, as you can see here. Even the names were different. Outside of Japan, the Famicom was called the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short. And here's some software. You can see that the designs and sizes differ between the Japanese and American and European versions as well. If you look closely, you can compare and make connections between all sorts of things in the exhibits. Games that Nintendo published are on display. So I hope you find some that you've played. On the screens above, you can see gameplay footage of the games on display. They even have directional speakers that let you hear the games when standing right in front of them. Oh, that's kind of cute. Let's check out a few other exhibits. In this area, you can see the evolution of products played by moving your body. Oh, so this is not Nintendo stuff. This is things that happened before Wii Fit. And here you can see how the design of the question mark block changed over time. Almost. Chew! In this area, you can see how the game graphics for Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, and other series evolved with each new system. Okay, yeah, that's kind of cute. This is where we have Nintendo products on display from the era before we made video games. Just all wedged in one little box, many of which might be unfamiliar to you. This is a Daiso copy machine called a Copilus. And this is the Macambera, a baby stroller. Sure. Nintendo started with Hanafuda and other playing cards. And then made board games, RC cards, pitching machines, and various other family-friendly toys. Nintendo really is a toy company at their heart, huh? This light gun was a turning point. After that, we began making gaming devices for arcades. These are the first household video game devices Nintendo made. Color TV Game 6 and Color TV Game 15. These were released in 1977, right around when I joined the company. Oh, you've been here a while, huh? When you look at each of our products, you'll see that we've always taken a unique approach when making new products. As you just saw, many of Nintendo's past products are on display in the second floor of the museum. They sure are. We wanted to show the evolution of entertainment, while showcasing the elements that have been shared and built upon over the years. What I showed you today is a small fraction of what's on display, so I hope you'll come see it for yourself. So let's head down to the first floor. It really is just a... I don't know what I expected. This is what I should have expected. We're going to walk around a museum together. As you can see, there's a giant screen on the floor itself. Oh. This, Hanafuda cards. You can stand on top of the screen to play the traditional Japanese card game, Heiakin Ishin. You actually use a smart device provided by the museum to play. The first floor is full of interactive experiences for you to enjoy. Oh, that's kind of fun. Play a big card game on an interactive screen on the floor. If we brought past Nintendo products into the present era, what kind of unique forms of play would they provide? Oh, that's... We created 8 experiences with this in mind. When you enter the museum, you'll be issued an entry pass like this. It comes loaded with digital coins that can be used on the museum's activities. Today I'll introduce 3 of the 8 experiences. Okay, so you can't do the things an infinite number of times. There's a limit to how many times you can do the things, I guess. This is where you can try the Ultra Machine, which was originally released in 1968. Okay, this is their pitching machine, their indoor pitching machine. An automatically pitched ball similar to those used in table tennis. Okay, yeah. A revised version called Ultra Machine DX was released the same year I joined the company. Oh, so you can, like, go in the little batting cages and play Nintendo's very old pitching machine. At the time, there was a playroom in the office where we would play arcade games or Ultra Machine during lunch breaks. The rooms here are recreations of what Japanese homes looked like back then. Okay, this is more interesting to me than the second floor was, the first one we saw. You can go be in a historically accurate Japanese apartment playing baseball with like little ping pong balls. Yeah, I can see why they would want a time limit or limit how many times you could do some of these activities to make sure people could get through getting to try them. Oh, you get points for hitting certain things in the room with your little ping pong ball. If you've hit various objects in the room with a ball, you might find that they'll react. Aim for objects on both sides of the room. Oh! Yeah, this is a fun little idea. This is an activity called Zapper and Scope. In the 1970s, Nintendo renovated bowling alleys. Okay, I'm learning shit watching this. This was worth watching. They turned them into laser clay commercial shooting arenas. We made the Zapper and Scope SP so you could experience laser clay with modern technology. Up to 13 people can play at the same time. Oh, so they've taken old Nintendo Super Scopes and retrofitted them with new tech to make a sort of new version of a shooting gallery. You can fire quickly with one hand with the Zapper or with a sight called the Super Scope. Oh, they got both of them. So you can use Super Scopes or Zappers to do a little shooting gallery. These are recreations of the Zapper and the Super Scope. Today I'll be using the Zapper. See, this is all like... This is a very Nintendo approach to doing a museum is, hey, play around with something tactile that is like a recreation of a thing from the past, but with a new spin on the gameplay. Be it, yeah, here's an old pitching machine we used, but if you hit stuff in the apartment, it's good actually, not like your parents are going to shout at you, or use a Zapper, but it's a modern game on the screen. This is a neat idea. You're winning me over, Nintendo. I think this would have been the thing to start with and then show the second floor afterwards. I think this is like the better foot to start on. The results are in. Oh, and then you see who did better on the little score thing. Let's move to the next area. Here you can play various games from Famicom up to Wii. You can just play old games but with huge controllers. Oh, that's fucking silly. I love it. Do you want to play NES games with the biggest NES controller we could make? 2 people have to share the controller because it's too big. I want the huge N64 controller. Oh yeah, this is neat. Okay, yeah, so you have a time limit for how long you can play the game for before it's someone else's turn to play the game. Yeah, I think this is all very, very sensible for keeping things moving. I get it. It feels a little spoil sporty, but I get it. It's enough time to go, I did the silly thing. I'm genuinely so curious what, like, the game feel is like on the big controller. How similar to the real button feel can you get at big size? Oh my god, giant Wii remote that takes 2 of you to hold it up. Oh my god, I want the big Wiimote that takes 2 of you to play Pilot Wings. Look at the 2 people holding a Wiimote to do Pilot Wings. Okay, I need the big Wiimote. I want a big functional Wiimote. You can also play Hanafuda even if you don't know the rules. Oh, you can come learn Hanafuda. We'll host workshops where you can make your own Hanafuda cards. Oh. This is actually seeming like quite a lovely little thing there. You know, I will probably never have an opportunity to visit this place, but it's once they got past the here is a room where you can look at stuff, which I'm like, look, I'm interested in that, but it doesn't show well in a presentation. This is the second half of this is like what I expect out of Nintendo is here's the weird little have a play with things aspect of what we've put together. Yeah. We hope to share this feeling with you when you visit the museum. Nintendo employees, including our developers, have put their all into developing and creating this space.
Hey, what's up, guys? We watched every...
Oh. The Nintendo Museum opens on October 2nd. Sorry, I accidentally clicked my phone and a YouTube video started playing. I feel like this is probably the end of it. I look forward to seeing you. Cool. I'm going to end the stream here. Brax says, is it okay if Eltari still lives in my head? 1000%. She lived forever. She found a potion of eternal life and she's still out there having her best life. I'm going to head off because I have, like, less than 4 hours before I have to leave for the airport. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. I will be back Monday next week once I have done a whole Gamescom. I will chat to you all soon. I hope you have a good week. Goodbye.